Well, the bastard centre stand is off. Ended up having to cut it, but that's off, so maybe a bit of frame delugging fun today. But welcome to video number 2 of project SR250. Yeah, just sweating a little bit now. I've been in the shed. I just thought I'd nip in. It's Wednesday, late Wednesday afternoon. I've been out today, and so I've just got in, but I thought I'd have a few minutes and try and sort out seeing what that whole pin arrangement was. From the microfiche, it looked like it's just like a pin that goes through the centre stand and then into the brake lever. But I reckon over the years that's just rusted and welded itself solid. I've tried heat, penetrating fluid, really fucking walloping it with a hammer, and it's just not shifting. So in the end, just got out the angle grinder and just cut the bugger off. So that whole pin's out, which means I'm going to have to just either find a replacement pin or bodge something up. But as it's only the brake lever that's going on there now, I can work something out, you know. We'll worry about that when we come to it. Shouldn't be too difficult. So yeah, I was just looking over, and I figured, yeah, I might do, well, a bit of frame delugging. I'm going to get the races out the steering head as well, because I'm going to put new races in. I'm hoping I can get tapered roller bearings. These were just like the loose bearings, so I've lost most of them on the floor when I took it all apart. But yeah, hopefully upgrade some tapers. So I'll just knock the races out and have a little bit of a look at the frame. Okay. One. That one out. Right, that's the bearing races out. Alright, so let's start having a little bit of a look-see. So I don't want to go ultra mad on it just yet, because you know, you kind of, not everything's super planned out yet, so I don't want to lose. I mean, the area that I'm gonna be a bit reluctant on, not reluctant I should say, but I'm not gonna dive right in and just lob it all off. I mean, the look is essentially just to keep the tubing, and I'll lose, you know, stuff like you got this, which was just like the side panel cover and that little nub in there. Lose that. This I'll keep, because that looks like that might be, you know, a possible plate that's already welded on there that I can use to mount a battery box, or you know, or the rectifier still used to live there, maybe, you know. But yeah, so that's a handy one. Where else? That one probably ain't going to do anything with, so that can come off. That had, what was on that? It's probably the side panel. Again, this tab here, can lose that. Same on the other side, just lose that. I say the back end here, I'm going to leave for a little bit. I mean, I really just want the tube, but as you can see, it's like kind of welded into the rear shock bracket here. So I'm actually gonna have a look at some other ones on Tinternet, see what they've done. Not entirely sure yet. I'm thinking of maybe a hoop, you know, on the back there, kicked up a little bit maybe. That lug's definitely coming off. Not that one, because the exhaust will probably be hanging off that as it did the original one, although not the original exhaust. So yeah, that one's coming off. Yeah, so let's go. We've got little rusty tabs here where the wiring loom went, and to be honest, when I put it all back in, I'll just whack a cable tie around. It just looks a bit cleaner, in my opinion. But there we go. So let's have a bit of deluggage. do that, get finessed up a little bit. Ow, 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 ow. Ah, fucking hot, of course. Okay, so I think I've got all the tabs I wanted ground off. We've lost the bracket that was like that on that side. Where else? We got little tabs there, tabs that were here, and a tab that was here. Where else? The little tabs there. Oops, sorry. There. Where was the other one? There's a few more. Same on the other side, around there, and I've just cut the end off on the back of the frame rail here. I've cut. There was a little tab that was sticking up. Now this is quite proud of the frame, and I'm thinking the seat's going to sit flush on it, like kind of following this bracket here. And whilst looking at it, I've decided I've ordered a cafe racer loop kind of thing, you'd call it, or, you know, just the end of a frame loop, just to finish that end off there. I'll probably cut this off entirely then, and then weld a flush piece on there, so the seat will sit flatter when it's on there. That's a bit upside down, isn't it? But do you get what I mean? But I'm not being a metalworking expert or any idea of frames really. I don't want to cut this off just in case anything moves, but so I'm going to leave that in place at the moment, and I've got to lose this shit. That's going to just ruin the lines. I want that tube, so I'll do a bit of cutting out on there. So all I've done after I've cut them off with the disc, put the old grinding disc on, and just done this kind of very rough, smooth grinding, because when you cut it as close to the frame, but you don't want to gouge into the frame at all. So I've cut them off as flush as I can with the disc, with the cutting wheel, then ground it all back so it's kind of flush, you know, smooth, none of the welds are sticking out, and then I'll just then go over it now with the old lapping wheels, and that should give it a much smoother finish on there. So right, let's set you up. Right, okay, so that's gone over the frame with the old lapping wheel, and bring you in. So that's ended up smoothing, just done a couple of passes over it, and that's just really smoothed all that out, so it's nice. And you know, obviously if these are going to be on display, you don't want gouges and stuff in them, so they're so nicely smoothed out. So yeah, just gone round all of them. That was quite a coarse one. I'm going to go down to a slightly finer one, and then a bit more, and a bit of hand sanding as well. And yeah, I think I'll start looking at this, working that bit out. that's the frame delugged as far as I want it at the moment. That's, well, now let's have a look at these bits. But whilst I've got the lapping wheel out, I think I might just take some of the crud off the exhaust. Okay then, time for something completely different now. I'm going to just sit and think about the frame a little bit. That's kind of as delugged as I want to get it for the time being. As I said, in terms of this back section, I'm going to just go and have a little bit more of a research, I think, on the back there and what I'm going to do. It's a bit, I'm humming and hawing. Part of me, I'm thinking that's a useful lug, that's a useful lug. I'm just thinking rear indicators. But then I can come up with something else really to do that. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a think on that for a little while. So I'm just turning my attention to the top yoke, and I'm just giving it a bit of a clean up so it's in nice knit, looks lovely. And I want to fit these risers to it. They're about the same sort of height as the stock ones, but they just look a bit more beef. They're in better nick, and I can, depending where I mount them, I can get a bit of a slight difference in the bars. So I think they're just up a bit and forward a bit, so they're going to look quite nice. But when we've got these like a bit like in the old Bonnie with the bushings in the top there. So when those go on, they're just going to be sit up there, which is fine, and that will work. But it just looks a bit shit. So I found these alley sort of spacers, which I'm going to put on the top. They fit perfectly there, but I'm going to drill the sensors of the holes out so they fit over the top of that and just act as a nice kind of dress up spacer really. So right, let's do that. There we go, so just on the top like that, and then when those bad boys go on, it's just going to look a little bit cleaner, just the small finishing touches. Right, get those screwed on. Right, totally went off on a tangent, so I've finished those little spaces on the risers, and I thought I'd throw together the handlebars. Haven't put the switch gear on yet though. But they've turned out really nice. Everything's sort of all been cleaned up, and yeah, I was trying out maybe a mirror there, I think, and one there. I have to see when the forks are in and clearance and lots of tweaking. But no, they turned out nice. The old brown grip on there, obviously switch gear. Found some bolts that dress up where the mirrors went. And some nice fresh stainless bolts in there. Yeah, the risers are all on there now. Cleaned up the bottom yoke, put some bolts in the holes that aren't being used. Yeah, so I think that's going to work quite nicely. There go. So there's a little change for now. Right, lunch break. Right, I've had my lunch. Had a look on the net and seen what other back ends of the SRs are looking like, and yeah, I've just thought, no more humming and hawing. I'm just going to jump in there with the angle grinder, which is what I've done. I've hacked at it. So well, let me show you. So there we go. That's the rear end now. Obviously, the those won't be staying as like right angles. I'll dress them in that way, so they'll follow a nice smooth line. But it's just getting the bulk of the meat off with the angle grinder. I've still got to grind like there where the welds were, get those nice and smooth and good, and that'll be ready for the old Cafe Racer hoop, which will just go on there. I've just had an email that's been dispatched today. I've gone for one that it's just a hoop. There's ones with the kick up, but because there's a kick anyway in that, it's not just like a flat seat like on the Bonnie. I don't think that will look as cool, so it will look a bit kind of do. So that hoop's just going to go on there, and then the frame's pretty much ready for the dry build then. So yeah, I'm running out of time a bit today, so I think that's going to be it for today. I might do a little bit more grinding, but I won't film it because your ears have probably had enough of the angle grinder by now. But yeah, so that's kind of the end of episode 2. The frame's pretty much almost there. Don't know what I'm going to hit next. I'm thinking possibly the forks. I'm thinking, yeah, tear down the forks. Probably got a really manky old oil in it. Don't know, I'm looking at the wheels as well. Don't know, I've got a lot to choose from. And also the strip bolts and get the oil out of that thing. So one of those will be the next video, I reckon. But there we go. Thanks for watching. See you on episode 3. That's as far as I've got for today. That's a wrap.